recording on.
Sorry about that. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us as the spring goes on, or even over the summer when you have questions. We're happy to answer any of those. We'll stay in the cafeteria tonight. Some of you know where our kindergarten pod is. It's actually closed right now, feeding, but you'll learn more later in the presentation about our screening opportunity in the spring, and that time before your child starts kindergarten, you'll be able to see the kindergarten classrooms. Okay, so my agenda works. There we go. Move this out of the way. I'm afraid to pick a close on it, but this is the basic agenda we'll go over tonight, and at the end you'll have that closing and questions opportunity. So I'm going to move to our first slide, and Betsy Sinnott, one of our kindergarten teachers, is going to kind of take the lead on kindergarten life.
Okay, you want this? Yeah. And also you'll hear later, I think in a week, the slideshow will be shared with you. So if you see something and you want to go back and revisit, you'll get a chance to do that. So don't worry about it. So this is just talking about what we work on in kindergarten generally, and making friends, social skills, becoming part of a community, become part of a group. Those are all things that are super important in kindergarten. We talk a lot about expressing feelings, handling frustration. Even when kids have been to a daycare, let's say for a long time, the expectations is a little different. And so what they're being at, learning to follow a direction, working on a timetable, that's kind of different for kids, like you have to be a certain place at a certain time. We do a lot with literature, of course, listening and talking about books. We learn the letters of the alphabet, sounds they make, we write them, we learn how to read them. We do put them together. By the end of the kindergarten year, they're reading words, they're writing a complete sentence. I know in my class right now, we're really working on starting with an uppercase letter, this is between words, ending with a period. And that sounds insane when your child is just learning the alphabet, but you need to go from that beginning all the way to reading a single sentence, a simple book and writing sentences. We're counting to 100, we're counting objects. We're adding, subtracting, basic addition and subtraction. So the academic piece is new for a lot of kindergartners, and there is no rush. You don't need to run home and buy a workbook and get started on it. The biggest advice would be to be ready for kindergarten in those ways would be to read a lot together. So your child knows how to sit down and enjoy books together. Board games, dice games, counting, singing, rhyming, all of those good things will get your kindergartner ready to do what we do when we plan again. This is particularly important to me. I'm gonna go right to the bottom one, backpacks. So yes, please. No, thank you. Backpacks are super cute. They don't hold a good letter size, like a book from the library or papers from school. There's also, they're going to want a water bottle in the backpack to bring school, and snack containers probably separate from lunch container if they're bringing lunch. So there's stuff in winter, as you know, there's definitely stuff for the backpack. So the cute ones are cute. But generally parents end up going out to something else, and so you've spent money on something that's not really going to last that long. So just keep that in mind. I'm also to say, I understand not everybody can put a good amount of money into a backpack, but the bags with characters and things on them, the zippers break really fast. And then again, you're buying another backpack. So it does, if you can swing it, it is in your best interest to get a good backpack. And it doesn't have to be adult, but they do make good child-sized backpacks that can last you, a good amount of years if you. You will get a welcome letter from your child's kindergarten teacher over summer. It will tell you what to bring. It will mostly tell you what not to bring. You don't have to bring a whole lot. I would suggest practicing. So this spring and summer, you go on picnics, or if you're going places, or even if it's in your kitchen. If you're buying a beautiful new bento box, or you're buying a clever canister or something, your kids, it really is helpful how to open and close them. And that sounds really basic, but this room is generally filled with 100+ kindergartners, and not that many adults. And so it really is helpful if they can do those things on their own. And again, we want them to start kindergarten working towards independence. And that's independence with all kinds of things: toileting, backpack, shoes. And again, not everybody, of course, comes in knowing how to do all things, but we are working really quickly towards independence, and you'll be amazed and surprised at what your kids do, for sure. I'm going to say something particular about toileting, and I haven't. This is my first year of really going into it, but I never have. Just to say, like, wiping bottoms. It is amazing. You might think, oh, well, we do a little help. For kids that like to be checked, work on it, because they'll just ask at school, and you've got one teacher in the classroom, sometimes two, but not very often. And that's not really, it'd be very helpful if they can manage that on their own. Sure. The welcome letter, I think I touched on it. It's coming over the summer. It'll say what to bring, what not to bring. It'll say choose a theme. It'll give some information about how the school, like the first day of school, and how that.
Yeah, some specific info about your classroom.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So a typical kindergarten day, you're going to see a lot of visual supports in a kindergarten classroom. This happens to be from my classroom. So here is the schedule, kind of a typical schedule of the day. Kids do get breakfast or have an opportunity to breakfast at school. They eat in the classroom. Generally, classrooms start with that's last year. A meeting. We do some literacy pieces, reading, writing. In mine, we do a literacy choice time in the morning and more of a math choice time in the afternoon. It might be that we have a guidance lesson. It might be a day we go to art or PE or the library, which we call the learning center, because it's more than just books. And PE, art, music. So PE twice a week, music twice a week. The art room. So kids, you'll also get that schedule home of when your kids do that. So make sure they have sneakers for PE. You'll probably be asked to bring an art smock, and you'll be told it's just a large t-shirt and your name is sharp really big on the front, because the art teacher has to know all the kids in the school. So you're in the informational letter that comes over the summer. You'll get that kind of information. Number corner, we do a lot with calendar and how many days we've been in school, and a lot of foundational things in math. Read stories. We have snack. We have snack in the afternoon. It kind of depends on the schedule. Our lunch was a little later. We had snack in the morning. Sort of depends on the master schedule of the school. This year we go to lunch and then recess. It's an old picture. It says recess then lunch. So we get dressed for outside and then go to the cafeteria, and they just sit on their coats and put their hands in their sleeve, those kind of things, and then they go right out to recess. So kindergarten screening is a time when, well, it's May 17th. It's very brief time. You'll get a time slot. It's about 30-minute time slot. It's pretty short. And I think will be similar-ish to how we did it last year, which is you're going to sign up for second and third choices, correct? I'm looking at you just to make sure that's correct. Of your times on this day, so definitely mark this day. And parents will remain in the library, and we'll go over lots of information, answer questions, and kids will go to a kindergarten classroom, and we have a few classrooms running at that time, lots and lots of teachers, and they'll just to get a chance to go in, play a little bit, listen to a story, sing a song. I ask them to write their name and draw a picture of themselves. And it just gives us an idea of where are coming in. It gives you a chance to say, you know, you have speech concerns about your child, you have health questions about your child, our nurse will be available that day, our registrar will be available if there's transportation, throughout the hardest question, you know, just logistical questions. We'll talk about when school starts and stops and all of those. And your child will go off and have an opportunity to be in a real kindergarten classroom. And then off they go. Last year, unfortunately, it was raining, but hopefully this year it's nice. And then you say, oh, let's go check out the playground. And if you don't get to do that at registration, I highly recommend spending some time on the playground. That really will orient your child to the space, and so you feel comfortable.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, alternate date. So that link will be live when you receive a copy of this via email. You also, I'm looking at you, Niket, receive an email with that sign up link, correct? Okay.
So a lot of, especially families who are new to school, have questions about school safety. EWSD has a director of safety, Gary Scott, who's really supportive of our building, has done a really nice job working with our safety committee and really helping us to be developmentally appropriate when it comes to talking about kids and them safe. And the big piece here is that the adults, the big piece is that the adults in the building are really trained in all of our protocols and procedures around school safety. What we really work with kids on is making sure that when they hear an announcement about something that we need to do to keep them safe, that their job is to follow the lead of that adult. We don't talk about all of the details around what it is we're doing and why. It's really just about sometimes we just have to leave the building and we're going to do it this way, and we practice that. We actually try to make it fun for them to, let's see how quickly we can get out, and let's, you know, go to a different place next week. So we do things like that. Every other month, we also have a fire drill as a whole school, and that's pretty standard. But we do have our safety team that meets on a regular basis just to look at everything that's going on in the school and stay updated with our director of safety. We do have, our school building is locked and we have a camera at the front door. And so when visitors come, we just ask what they're here for, how we can welcome them into the school. And we buzz them into the building and we ask that they sign in, know who's here, and they wear a visitor's pass. That's about it for school safety. So and I'm sorry, it's going right across their faces, but I'm afraid to X because I don't want to close the recording. We will have 2 school counselors next year. We also have a social emotional learning coach who's not on this slide, C.R. Smith. Sarah Buell and Bree Heaslip are our school counselors, and they do a variety of things, but they do lessons within the classroom. So they teach guidance lessons in the classroom. They also pull small groups and do social skills or counseling groups throughout the year. They can also support families. They do a lot of family support if there's ever anything that's happening that you think the school needs to know about. They do an amazing job of getting you the supports that you need. They keep things very confidential when needed, and then also do a great job of bridging those communication pieces if families need support with getting everyone on a team. At Speed, our school counselors do a great job with that. So they're really good resources, and you'll hear more about them in your letters and in my summer letter. They'll put information out as well. Child nutrition. Did you want me to talk a little? I'll have you talk a little bit about it. This is where we eat. And so lunch is in here, breakfast is in classrooms. When these slides go out, it might be useful just to check out like what our menus look like, what you do to be able to apply online. This gives you a little bit more information about allergies, but Betsy can kind of talk about what lunch actually looks like from the kindergarten classroom perspective.
Sure. So tables that are behind you, they're circular tables with this right here with the seats built in. So it's all here. Those two doors that are closed, that's our kitchen. So we go in one way and we come out the other. The kids have a lunch code. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think you might get it home, but we also have little cards that are laminated and the kids just scan them as they go through. And then they learn their numbers really quickly, surprisingly quickly, and then they can punch it in. They like to do that. Let's see, lunch, there's always like the made option, whether it's like pizza or today it was chicken tenders or, with the vegetable and a couple of choices. And there's always choice within that. And then there's always an alternate. And the alternate is often like a bread with some cheese that they can put on it. And it's almost like a really good for you Lunchable kind of thing. It's got little compartments with, maybe it'll have a hard-boiled egg or a cheese stick or whatever have you. But it's an there's some yogurt parfait, I think is in there or something. So yeah, and there's chocolate milk, which is only at lunch. And then there's this big, this is something you could work on a little bit at home, is cleaning up after themselves, or even noticing. A big thing with kindergartners is even noticing if they've made a mess, because some aren't even aware that they spill, or that, or when it's spilling, you've seen it and it comes towards them and they just watch it like go right in their laps. That would be a good one to work on. Anyway, we have this big thing and they actually will learn to bring up their tray. Silverware goes away here. Pour out your extra milk or your trash, compost bin, and then your tray goes up in the dishwasher window. So it becomes quite a bit. It's a lot. At the very beginning of the year, we have like all hands on deck for kindergarten lunch. But eventually it's surprising how routine it becomes and how well they can take care of themselves in here.
Okay, so Niket Bergeron is our fabulous registrar who will take great care of you all when it comes to enrolling and all of those questions that you'll have along the way. So she's got the next few slides. Do you want me to slide for you? Sure.
Thank you so much. I see some familiar faces. I see some new faces out here. I work in the front office with my coworker who is Lindsay Wignall. We work very closely together. I am also the one who sent you all the emails inviting you to come here to join us on Zoom. I am your point of contact where registration is concerned for your students to make sure we get them here. Most of you either have a child who's already enrolled in 6 elementary school pre-K or Act 166 through the school district. For those families, already have the majority of information from you that we need. The key points that we ask for are to make sure that you have updated 3 emergency contacts. And so emergency contacts are not a parent, not a guardian. They are 3 separate people that are not parents or guardians. And we ask for their name, a phone number, and relationship to the child. In the event that we need to communicate with someone and we can't hold the parent or guardian, we start going through the list of the 3 emergency contacts. The only thing that we're asking you to do on the online PowerSchool where registration is located at this point is to fill out the kindergarten student input form. And this just kind of gives a background for your teacher to review once the child is placed in a classroom. So you will, we're just asking that you do that part just as an initial piece. The other forms as needed, because a lot of Act 166 and EES pre-K forms are already filled out. If you're a new student here, then you would need to fill out all of the forms and provide all of the documentation that's requested. But if the school district already has your documentation, you don't have to provide it to us again. Over the summer, these registrations get reviewed. So we'll reach out to you if we're missing something and let you know, we need this piece of information from you, or, oh, I noticed this form wasn't filled out. And we'll just ask that you do that at that time in order to complete the registration. We have a great application. It's a website and and you can put it on your phone, you can put it on your computer, whatever works. It's called Pickup Patrol. Some people call it Paw Patrol. That's a show, not the same. It's Pickup Patrol. And this system allows parents to go in and determine and report to us what their after school plans are going to be. That for dismissal, we have 400 students in the school, and keeping track of kindergarten, first grade, second graders, they'll tell you, no, I'm taking the bus. They've never taken the bus before. And we will not go with what the child says. We trust only what the parent tells us in that portal, in that website. So it's really important at the beginning of the school, throughout the summer, we'll send a welcome email. Here's Pickup Patrol. Please set your student's default dismissal plan so that we know what your child is doing after school every day. You can make changes to it anytime. You can make a change default plan, or you can make a change for that one day, and that's certainly a possibility. This application also allows us to have you report a student absence. So your child's not going to be in school. We need to know that your child's not going to be in school. Very important information so that we're not looking for your child in the event of an emergency or something is happening. So if you don't use this, you can also call the school. That's more than fine, or send an email to us directly front office. And the reason why we ask the front office to be emailed is because sometimes we have guest teachers in classrooms. And it's the case, you're writing only to your child's teacher, but your child's teacher might not be here. But the front office, there will always be someone monitoring that email address, and phone calls work great as well. And talking about dismissal pieces, transportation. This is actually a separate department within our school district. So transportation, running the buses, isn't the same as this Pickup Patrol app that we have. So they run their own department, and it does require a separate registration. So they'll have a form during the summer that you can fill out, and just letting them know, yes, I want my child to ride the bus. If your child's never going to ride the bus, you can just ignore that. You don't have to go to the department or the transportation department at all. That's fine. This is just if you want your child to ride the bus, this is an option. They do have a deadline on the form in the summer. They'll say, you need to register your child and fill out this form by such and such a day, or your child might not be able to ride the bus on the first day of school. So you want to pay attention to those emails that will be sent out to you, indicating that information. New thing this year, because I do see some familiar faces who have older siblings, the transportation department has changed who is on the buses. So kindergarten through 5th grade will be on a set of buses. 6th grade through 12th grade will be on a separate set of this. So that's something new and different this year, that your kindergartner will not be on a bus with another student who's more than 5th grade. That's the age range in which they're putting them on. Another really important piece is to know that kindergartners and 1st graders need to have an approved parent or guardian or an approved person with them at the bus stop. So that's for kindergarten and 1st grade. They do require it to have someone that's been approved by the transportation department through your communication with them. This person can pick up my child today and bus stop and meet them. That's fine, as long as you're communicating with them that that's the plan. And any questions about transportation, there's a phone number here, there's an email address, and the information on the bus routes won't come out until summertime.
So our nurse Danny will come up and tell you about our health office.
So I'm Danny Morris. I go by Nurse Danny to all the kids, and we're just going to talk a little bit about what you need to know before coming in. The cat kind of touched on it with those forms. I'm just going to talk a little bit more about the immunization side. So we'll start there. Before school starts, kind of thinking about during the summer what forms you want to get to us, and the main ones are the immunization forms. You have to fill them out at our school, upload the immunization records to email or fax will be at the end of this, and these slides you guys can use later on if you have any questions, or email or call me if you have any questions. Tell me if I'm being, is this loud enough? Okay. Other thing, thinking before school starts, if your student has any medications, includes inhalers, daily meds, wanting me to give them at school, please email me I'll just link, I can also email families with the sign-up form as well for the kindergarten information night. And this is just saying that your doctor signed off that your kid can get the medication at school, and that you all are okay with the kid getting at school one time and one dose. And that's important for EpiPens and all the emergency meds as well. So, and with those medications, all of them need to be having in their original packaging. So if it's EpiPen, that original container with their on it. And if you guys have any questions about that, we can chat more about it as well, about that, what that looks like. So there is a lot of journals in elementary school. We do our best to stay safe, but we do have certain rules about when students have to be home. And we have certain guidelines of what that goes if the student vomits at school or at home. If the fever is over 100, contagious diseases such as pink eye or stroke, the 24-hour antibiotics rule. And if also if our students just having a hard day, you know, if they're maybe not having those other criteria, but we're just coughing a lot and exhausted and can't be in school, then we'll go for a day of rest. And that would look like me calling you and making a plan for pickup. With the allergies that we have a table in the cafeteria that is always nut free. And with other allergens, sometimes there are students with other allergens outside nuts, like stouts, bananas, eggs, and requesting families that eat at the allergy-free table to be not bringing the allergen and having a safe place for them to eat in the lunchroom. And another thing at EES is we do encourage non-food celebrations. So when your student has a birthday, not bringing in cupcakes into that classroom due to other food allergies. And if your classroom has a student with a food allergy, I lay out letters that says, do not bring these allergens into the classroom, just so we can keep everyone safe. This you guys can review at any time. It's also all this information's on the My section website. But it's just when you think you might want to reach out to me. If your student has a significant injury outside of school, reaching out to me so we can coordinate if they need help with wheelchair crutches in the school, do diagnoses, any other help, or if you just want to touch base about how your student's doing. Kind of show what a school nurse does in elementary school. So I do vision and hearing screenings, first aid, emergency care, managing allergies, and all the healthcare plans for the students in the school. And also making 504 plans. And if you guys have any questions about that, you can chat more too. And to do that, that's my contact information. I'm easiest to reach out via email, but phone and calls as well.
So do we have someone from Four Winds? Yes, okay, Four Winds. Come on up.
Okay, you just want to stand sort of in front of the camera so our
Okay.
student friends can
Okay.
hear us.
Great. Hi, everybody. My name's Erin Gazowski. I'm one of the parent coordinators for the Four Winds program here at Essex Elementary and over at Founders as well. So Four Winds is a volunteer opportunity for families that want to participate in their child's classroom. We hold 4 sessions per year, so it's not a huge time commitment. It would be each set about 1 to 2 hours. So if you have some flexibility during your workday, we'd love to have you. And a little bit about Four Winds. It's a hands-on program, so we have a variety of activities, and I'm holding these little puppets because we always start our session with a puppet show. We have a whole script, and this sort of gets kids engaged and interested in what they're learning about. So right now we're learning about animal tracks, and we have different characters that move around in different ways. And then we have some activities in the classroom to help students learn about various parts of the subject we're studying. And then a big part is we take the kids outside, we explore nature. There's some wonderful trails behind the school here, so we always have lots to learn with the students, and it's a really fun way to be with your child at school, see them participate in class, know their classmates, and you learn about a lot of things yourself as well. As a parent, I've been doing this. I have a 6th grader and a 3rd grader, and I started when my 6th grader was a kindergartner. So it's been 7 years, and I love learning new stuff each year. So I'll be over there in the corner. I have a sign-up sheet if you think you might be interested. You don't have to sign up and say yes now, but we'll just get your contact info so that in August we can send an email out to everybody and start gathering our volunteers together. So if you have questions or want to chat with me afterward, please come on over.
Can I also add to that, classroom teachers, kindergartners, kids in the school, Four Winds is beloved. It is a wonderful program. And you don't, as a parent volunteer, you don't need any experience talking to a group of kids. You don't need to be like a natural teacher. You don't need any of those skills. You go to training, a little training, you read from a script. I mean, really, it's parents behind a thing with the puppets, reading from the script.
Yes.
Some are like big actors and some are just kind of getting through it doesn't matter. It is wonderful any which way. So I highly recommend
Thank you
volunteering.
for that plug. We love the program and thank you all with this.
All right, I think we have PTO next, yeah.
Do you want me to?
No, I think I'm gonna look for me. Sure. Hey, everybody, this is the camera. I'm Kasia Lucia. I am the president of the current ESSEC PTO. And you can look at the next slide. We actually cover all 3 town schools. So for those who are not familiar, that's Essex Elementary School, Honors Memorial School, which is 3 through 5, and then Essex Middle School, which is 6 through 8. And that's something that started many years ago before we were Essex Westford School District, from what I understand. And so these slides will go out. And everybody is automatically a part of the PTO. It's one of the beautiful things about being a PTO. And just because you are a part of it doesn't mean you have anything, but we love to encourage parent engagement. And it's not just like a bunch of stay-at-home kids who are planning coffees in the middle of the day. Everybody on our board works outside of the home. Some of us more, of us less. We encourage anybody to participate. We try to be flexible when our meeting times are, but while also trying to provide engagement for students while they're in school so that we can have the maximum, packed. And so it's not something that parents are having to schedule out after school. We do have an executive board of 7 parents who are all volunteers who help make things happen. And it's a lot of not the stuff, but it really helps us bring great things. So I have to make talking points. So let's go to my next slide. So we do. So one of our big events in the past few years has been the fun run. So you can see some pictures here from this year's fun run. This is something do during the school day so that every child will participate. You'll see that the fun run change a little bit as we make sure that we adapt it to our schools and things like that. But this is an encouragement of getting outside, doing your best around a track, and everybody's having fun. We get lots of fun making the playlist, and parents can come and volunteer and help out if you can. If not, there's things to do. Again, before and after school, we try to be thoughtful of all that. We also try to do some things to give back to our teachers, especially as we're coming out of the pandemic phase, which is very really appreciative of our staff who works every day with our children, with all the germs. We try to do little things like, baking them fresh goodies or going to the store and buying some goodies to send them off to holiday break. Or in May is, the National Teacher Appreciation Week, which we, of course, are appreciative of all of our staff here, and the Staff Appreciation Week, which we're really looking forward to. And then we're also looking forward to some new events, which I'm not sure that made this deck, But things like bringing in a readathon or looking into how else we can help the school. Maybe they need help making a field day on, or maybe they need help making spirit wear available to parents and things like that. And so all those things are great. And we're always looking for new ideas, new voices and new faces, and garden parents are the greatest. You guys,
Yes.
really, it's really, you can bring these things that those of us who have been, you know, we just always are happy to hear from new voices. The next slide. How to get in touch with us. So, just like Danny said, email is the best way to get in touch with us. That comes to several of us, but primarily me. Over on the table, the handout is pretty much what I said and what the slide deck says. But it also has links. We do use social media, Facebook and Instagram. We have a website through the district, and we have our email address. And those are all ways you can connect with us. And so don't panic, the link will go out. The links with QR codes are posted over there, or you can grab one of those flyers, has the QR codes. That's the main. And it's not, you know, the most active page in the whole world, but when something is happening, that's a great place to check. And we also utilize any communications through the schools, newsletters and things like that. So again, we can make sure everybody has the information. I think that's it. Any questions at the end, right? Okay. All right. Thanks.
We have EKRP, our Rec Kids program. Kristen's gonna come talk to us.
Yes.
Kristen's well practiced at a loud voice up here.
This is my spot.
This is where she does lunch every day, so
So hi, my name is Kristen. I work through Essex Junction Recreation and Parks. We partner with all the EWSD schools, K through 5, to provide after-school programs. I specifically am the site coordinator for kindergarten only at EES. We specifically have a kindergarten only program. Kids that go TS, they will actually be shipped to Maple Street Park at the end of the day. I drive the bus that goes over to it. And we do this is for a couple reasons. One of the big ones is that all the people that work with our children directly are very trained in kindergarten readiness, integrate some of the things they're learning in school, and just have a lot of background with working with kindergarten specific. Another one that's really cool, we also have a lot of opportunities for them to integrate. There is another kindergarten program that's at the same space, so being able to use that as a catalyst for making friendships and learning some of those social skills. It's also awesome just to be able to like provide a program that has kindergarten specific activities, roles, and kind of help them develop if we're at shoe time, if we're at opening drinks, and just kind of take it at a kindergarten level. It's also really cool. I don't know if anyone else went to Maple Street Park before, but we have fields, we have the awesome playground. During the warmer months, we have the pool and that kind of thing. Just have a lot of opportunities in that specific space that make it a really enriching 3 hours at your end of your day. Like at the transportation, we go to kids' classrooms and pick up kids at the end of the day. I drive a cool bus, we go to Maple Street Park, and then you're to be picked up from Maple Street Park. So pickup would be there, and you get more specific information if you're signed up for the program on what that's like, where we'll be, and all those things. Cool. So our normal schedule, we start right at so instead of your kids being dismissed to a bus, they get dismissed to me, and we wait in the hall on our beautiful line. By the time we get there, we usually do like an hour-ish of outside time. This looks like playground time. This looks like structured activities, all the things. We do a snack. We provide a snack, and then we usually have like a group meeting or game. Depending on the day, do choice activities after. Typically, this is an active art and like a quiet choice activities. Sometimes if we're working on big projects, that'll be a carry-on of there. Today we had an ice cream party because the kids earned it and it was really cool. And then usually at 5:30, that's our wrap up time. Usually we don't have a ton of kids at that time, but we'll also do some like quiet choices and work with smaller groups. So kind of like the nitty gritty stuff. Our program runs Monday through Friday. We run right from school dismissal till 6 p.m. That goes for all of our programs, not just kindergarten specifically. We also provide care on most days that kids don't have school. So like a 7:30 to a 5 day. So like last Friday, we had a lot of our kids come into our program and we do fun things through that, usually field trips and stuff like that. This is some of our rates up here that just apply to different days. We don't provide a 1-day option. The kids will be signed in for at least 2 days. Many of our kids come for 5, which as you see kind of discounts it the days as you go. There's also early fee for Wednesdays and that stuff that's up there. There is options. Our program is Stars of Christ. So if you're working with childcare resource, we help kids get fees through there. The only thing that's always happens is there's a $50 fee when you sign up for that registration. That's not refundable to secure that spot for your kid. Some more stuff, how to get registered. Through our website, through EGRP, we will be starting a risk for registration form. So what you're gonna do on that date is on May 3rd at 8 a.m. that form will release on the EGRP website under our childcare section, and you're able to click on it. It's a form that just talks about this is the schedule you want for your days. You want 5 days, or you want Tuesdays and Thursdays, and your kid's going to be at this school. And based on that, we look through all your forms and we actually contact you about what you'd like to confirm and get your child enrolled for, and get more information, nitty gritty stuff based on that. Also, submitting the form doesn't guarantee that your child's in the program, but it's us knowing, oh, there's interest from this person, contacting you, reaching out to that family. Also knowing that if you fewer than 5 days, it has to be consistent. So 1 week they couldn't go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the next week they go Tuesday, Thursday. They would either be on like a Wednesday, Friday schedule for the whole year. It can obviously be changed, but it's something that's consistent week to week so that it helps out us to be able to have consistent schedules, helps the school knowing where kids going, so on, so forth from there. And then these are my cute kids. And if you need any more information, feel free to take a picture of this. It has our Red Kids email, well, someone will respond there. Our awesome office person who does all registration stuff, Alyssa, will on anything there. If you have any questions, always call our phone number for our office, and then anything that we are giving to you is always on our website, which is included up there. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right. So now, that was a lot of information. Certainly, as I said, it says question made that black line that's going across there. Reaching out at any time after today is welcome, but if there are any questions now from anyone who's here or anyone in the Zoom, you want them to raise a Zoom hand?
I think chat is probably
Use
easier.
the chat. Okay. So if there are any folks joining us via Zoom, if you have questions, put it in the chat. Anyone here have any questions you want to ask? Yeah, go ahead. 30 minutes each. Yep.
So the question was, how long is recess and how long do they have to eat? So 30 minutes for each.
30 minutes. You have a morning recess as well when they first arrive for about 15 minutes outside. So as soon as kids get here, they have that recess time until we come in.
And that's a really great question, because some kids are used to having as long as they need to eat. So that's something to consider, helping your kid as you get through the summer, learning to eat within limits. It can be tricky for those who are grazers, and it can be a change.
Great, thank you. Yeah.
Signing up.
Okay. Next year, yeah, for this coming year. So that is the registration and enrollment piece that Nakat was talking about. Are you in a Act 166 program now? So we probably already have your information, and I think you've already sent something.
Well, what you would do if your child is in the Act 166 program, we received the information from you. We ask for 3 emergency contacts, and you'll need to do the health form, and immunizations need to be updated. So all of that can happen throughout the summer. And I'll reach out to you if you're missing any of that information and let you know.
But the registration link will come in.
No, it's just Power School, so it's all over our website. Yep, and it should be in this as well.
Any other questions?
We do have one in the chat.
One in the chat, okay. Do you have a question? Go ahead. Are lunch boxes allowed? Lunch boxes are allowed. Yes, they are. That's a great question.
Will there be an opportunity for additional screenings for things like speech?
Yes, so I don't know who I'm talking to, but great question. So through the screening process that we have in May, that's an opportunity where you kind of let us know, this is a concern that I have, and we'll connect you to the right people. In kindergarten, we have a pretty thorough screening process for speech specifically, but even if there's something else that you're wanting information about, we have a lot of people available in May on that date. Was it May 7th? That you can just let us know, here's an area I'm concerned with. It's also on the parent input form registration that you could indicate if you want to talk to a school counselor or a special educator or the nurse, and we'll reach out to connect about any of those pieces. Yeah.
Just how many kindergarten classes there are and how many students are in each one.
Yeah, great question. We have 7 classrooms. This year, I think we have one classroom that's up to 18 right now. Typically, they're around 16, 17 is where it tends to fall. And some classrooms have additional adults in there if there's some individual assistants that are working with specific students. Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Breakfast time, you have like a universal breakfast time to make everyone here.
Yep. Yes and yes. So first thing in the morning, all kids are offered free breakfast, and classrooms kind of do that in a staggered. We have 400 students when all through 2s are here, and so classrooms come down at different times. And I would say most of our kids choose to get breakfast. There are some that don't, but it's pretty popular.
So the question on that is whether or not they can go down to get breakfast each day.
Yeah,
For the Zoom part, we just wanted to clarify
For the Zoom
question.
part. Yeah, it's provided by the food service, and students come down to the cafeteria and they bring that back to their class.
I can also add from that some kids are early risers and they have a breakfast at home. And so this is more of a morning snack. There are also items in the breakfast that they might choose not to eat, like maybe they just want one part of 3 items that are in the breakfast. A lot of us as classroom teachers have a share bin, so that they can put, items that don't need to be refrigerated, they could put those in there. Or some kids intentionally get breakfast, eat some of it, and save some items if they get too much for their afternoon snack.
Yeah.
So there are some options like that as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
Is that snack provided or is that something that parents?
The snack is no, the snack things.
The question is whether or not there's a snack provided by the school for students, or if parents do have the snack provided.
Right, so parents do need to provide that snack. I would suggest not going overboard. Sometimes you feel like, oh, maybe my child didn't eat it, I'm gonna put a bunch of things, It can be, particularly at the beginning of the year, it can be a little overwhelming for kindergartners to have too many choices in their snack bag. And sometimes they end up they're so excited about their new snack bag and having these special snacks, and they take them out, and then they line them up, and they put them in, and they take them out, and all of a sudden snack is over, and they're like, I didn't really, or they open all of them, and they eat none of them. So I really would suggest don't go overboard. Worst case scenario, your kid didn't eat a lot at lunch, they eat their snack, and they'll go home and be hungry, or Kristen's gonna give them an after-school snack. It really, even with the lunchbox, I would say that too, you can put too much in there, and it just becomes more for them to manage.
And to continue on with that question, there is another one in the chat which is asking, are there restrictions on types of food inside the lunch boxes?
Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So I know. The lunch that's eaten in the cafeteria, no, so for example, if my classroom right now is peanut free, tree nut free, and sunflower, which is also sunflower oil, free. So we can't have any of those things in my classroom for snacks. So it's nice when kids have a snack bag. But when they come to the cafeteria, the children with those allergies are at a safe location. And so other kids do bring Nutella and peanut butter and whatever in their lunch, and that's okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if the person asking is maybe also into things like candy. We do.
Oh, yeah, we're not a fan
we-
of candy.
we
I don't know what
do-
a rule is, but we're not. a
We do
candy.
encourage not to send
Yeah.
in sugary candies and sodas and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, what we tell the kids, that they come here to learn, and it's really hard to learn in there. Yeah, a lot of them.
Any questions? Yeah.
I'm curious how you navigate like the first day, first week drop offs, like with anxious kids and like how that.
Yeah, great
Okay,
question.
So
So,
let's repeat the question. The question is, what is it like on the first day of school for drop off, and how does that, especially for maybe an anxious child?
yeah, so we, luckily this year, we were able to start opening our doors back up for families to come in the building. And we had the whole first week that the doors were open for all kids, not just kindergarten. And parents were able to walk their child down to the classroom for a few days. And we just encourage to practice, okay, at a certain point, you're going to start dropping off at the front door. And when your child ready for that, to start practicing it. But there's tons of people here to support. Even now in March, we're still helping some students get down to their classroom. So we've got that nailed pretty well, but your team will work really closely with you around what that needs to look like.
Yeah, and the kindergartners will get, and I'm assuming we've done it forever, is they will get a bright colored tag with a J on it. What it does, and to put on their backpack, and your teacher will give that to you for the first day of school. And that just lets everybody know, not only are we looking for all kids, but we're like, oh, there's a kindergartner. And it'll say the teacher's name on it too. So there are grownups everywhere on that first day of school, looking out for those K tags to get up where they need to be. And some parents do drop off in the classroom the first day or two, and then maybe the second day they say goodbye, like on the way.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they say goodbye in the doorway here, and then outside the door, and all of a sudden, they get really proud really quickly to do it on their own. Parents are often nervous than the kids, and that's completely, I cried in the parking lot, 2 kids, I had 2 rides. Well, you work it out pretty quickly, and the teachers will often like drop you a quick email or something like, oh, rough start, we're doing it, and you'll realize it's only 8:30 and you picked up, like it goes pretty quickly.
Yeah. So there's a question in that regarding what is drop off, what time does school start, and when does it end?
When does drop off end? Or when
I
does
think
school end?
school start and end times, which next year is changing.
Mm-hmm.
It's still subject to change, but tentatively and most likely, school will start at 7:30 in the morning and end at 2:30, except on days when we have a 1 hour early release. So every Wednesday it would end at 1:30 instead of 2:30. And then what is drop off, what time? So to drop off would be between 7:15 and 7:30.
Right.
Yep, and they go out to the playground, the children go out for the first 15 minutes. And at 7:30, we open the doors and everyone was in.
Well, there's a whistle and kindergarten. So every kindergarten classroom has a colored dot. And actually, if people come to pick up, in the beginning of the year, we'll have a sign that's the same, mine says Senate, it's an orange dot. The kids in my room know orange dot, no matter where we are. And so, yeah, they don't just walk in on their, they'll line up at their dot. And then they'll see, but it's very quick to see their friends at the dot, they know where to go. And then they get brought in by class. Yeah.
The morning
Got it down.
routine, there are little things that change about it sometimes. There's a pretty explicit section in the summer welcome letter that the whole school community gets that you'll get, which will tell you like, here's what you do if you're dropping off, here's when you park, here's when you can drive through the drop off loop. We'll give you all those details over the summer. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the question is,
Sorry.
if we could talk about what the approach is for special occasions, for birthdays, for holidays, what does that look like in our school?
So a few different answers. One is birthdays. All students have their names announced on the morning announcements when it's their birthday, and they get a card from me. I go down, we celebrate. Most classrooms do like a birthday book for their child, for the child who's having a birthday, or do something about it during their morning meeting to celebrate the kiddo's birthday. Holidays, we try to do some things that we do whole school, where if we're celebrating something, everybody has the materials within their classrooms for us to recognize one of the holidays that we're looking at and try to teach kids about lots of different holiday cultures. We don't have families send things in or bring things in from home. It's really something that the school is able to provide, and anything that your classroom might be celebrating, the teachers will reach out to you ahead of time and let you know what they might be learning about or celebrating. Is that helpful?
We do have one more question in the chat. What is the likelihood Act 151 will be reached? And I'm not sure I'm familiar.
Oh, I think he's taught, he or she, I don't know who it is. I think that was the universal meals.
Okay.
I don't know if that person like, no, give us a thumbs up. I think that's the act. But it's.
Are you asking about the meals?
Yeah, I think that we're feeling pretty confident that it'll be renewed. We'll have universal meals again. That has happened over the last couple of years, where we wait and then finally at some point in the spring or summer, they let us know, yes, we're renewing this, but I don't want to be quoted that we'll definitely have it, but I'm confident that people are feeling pretty good about it, that will continue on and all kids will have free meals. Yeah.
If there's any sort of like guiding principle perspectives around conflict resolution and how things are managed.
Yeah, I
So
think.
the question is regarding discipline and conflict resolution, and how does the school handle that?
It's pretty multifaceted. This age, and specifically with kindergarten, we're really working with kids to teach them those base problem solving skills, everything from we both want to use the same material to something that might be bigger. I would say it's probably 75 to 9% of what our kindergarten teachers are doing, even when they're teaching math or reading. It's all connected into those SEL skills, and we're pretty super focused on that as a school. And then additionally, classroom teachers use a program called Second Step to teach EL skills, and our guidance counselors support that as well, and we'll groups to do any sort of bigger conflict resolution. Sometimes we do pull groups out and kind of help process if there needs to be deeper processing, but we really approach it from a growth mindset and lens, like these children are learning for the first time how to do this, and so that's our main approach. I don't know if you want to add anything.
Well, actually, so SEL, social
Emotional learning, thank you.
And, we also follow reciprocal classroom guidelines. So there's a lot, there's a lot of proactive, classrooms are building rules together. The big focus is helping our community where we care about each other and each other's similarities and differences. There's a lot of front loading to all of that. Our school, we have school rules, we've got a song that goes with it. It's like you said, it's pretty much the priority of,
It's what we do.
While we do everything else we do. Yes.
Anything else? Yeah.
So the kindergarten teacher job is pretty hard, and I'm curious what the school does to support the wellness of staff and teachers.
Okay, so the question is about how do we support the wellness of the staff, given how hard it is to be a teacher?
I think, but number one, I think we name that a lot, and are kind of always struggling with here are all the things we're asking teachers to do, and appreciating that the best that we can. And we're a pretty well resourced school district, which is, we're really fortunate to have that under us. And making sure that teachers can ask for help and tap out and get what they need for, and also just leaning on their own community. Like in kindergarten, they have 7 teachers, and they kind of all have a little different package that they bring to the team. And so really sharing resources with each other and supporting each other through conflicts, and then the bigger teams where we have special educators and interventionists and things like that. And I try to be as supportive as I possibly can. Betsy is kind of on the spot because I'm here and I'm saying that, but I think.
So I'd like to
Yeah,
ask, I really appreciate you saying that. I really appreciate that question. And one thing that you can do as parents for your kindergarten teacher, yeah, the job is enormous and the importance is enormous. You know, these are your children and this is their school experience. This is a big deal. And we take it really seriously and we all want to do our very, very best. So as parents, you can ask your teacher, how can I help you? What can I do for you? Is there anything you need? Those aren't things necessarily going to broadcast, but it would be really nice for them to hear that. So nice. Thank you for asking that question.
We do have a question in the chat room. Is reading taught phonetically?
Yes. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah.
To adjust kids to getting up really early.
Oh.
So this question is, how do you adjust children to getting up really early?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of our kids, the younger students tend to be the ones who are getting up really early already, but we do have children that need practice with that. And yeah, I would say start soon and practice that 7 days a week. I think it's hard for kids when they, at this age, when they get to sleep in those 2 days on the weekend and then it comes a day and you have to try again. It's just getting that routine going as early as possible in smaller increments.
Usually she's early on the weekend.
Of course.
And I think parents, not underestimate when a parent projects being positive and excited about the school day, it makes such a difference. If it becomes the thing at your house that you all have fun talking about, my little one sleeps in, it kind of will be, I'm serious, will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you are like, man, we get up, we go at this every day, those are the kids who come in and that are like, yeah, I'm here to go at this every day. It's an exciting world to walk in and have friends in your space, a teacher who cares about you, books in the library, and the more you're excited about for them, that can help get them going in the morning. And I hear a piece on NPR once about how inconsistent sleep schedules are very like jet lag. Sleeping late one day, getting up early in the day, it really messes with you. So I get it. I was not a super consistent parent. My kids are big grown up, but it's hard. It's hard, and we get it that it's hard. I believe you can do it.
Thanks. Any others? All right. Awesome. Well, we're so excited. If you please reach out if you have any other questions as time goes on, and we'll look forward to welcoming your kindergartner in the fall. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
So you should be able to end the meeting.